Hello. What's up? Hello, hello. How is everybody? What are y'all up to? Woo. Luther's here. You can hardly tell, but here he is. Grumpy. Hello, Lori. Hi. Hello, Elizabeth. Do you have a client today? Oh, he is so grumpy. You guys can't hear him, but he's like moaning just a little bit because he got disturbed. Hi. Hey, Carrie and Julie and Chris. How is everybody? Happy Halloween. I got out a special. I couldn't find my Halloween decorations this year because I have been moving things like with the move into the studio. Hey, Lori. And I couldn't find them. And I found them this morning and I was like, I got to put something out. Oh, yay. Elizabeth can stay for the whole thing. Hey, Kathleen, Garden Always, Rowena. Look at you guys. Do I have a... Oh, it's not a bag. It's the towel for Ursula in her tub. It's her towel. Oh, Julie. Oh, gosh. Where Julie lives, they have a really fun Halloween parade. I'm sorry, Julie. That's a bummer. Hi, Terry. I know not every country really celebrates, so what are you all up to? Tanya, hello! Do you not have to work today? I love it. So it's November 1st where Tanya lives. What's everybody working on? What you got going? Oh, Kathleen, gosh, I wish I could. Well, good. I'm glad you have today off. I looked, I think it was in 2019. I looked for a place to stay, an Airbnb for Flyaway, but then I didn't, for whatever reason, I didn't do it. Garden Always is finishing a beret for the show in 2 weeks. Is that like a craft show? Crystal, I am working on a hat. I just cast on this morning. Oh my gosh, Carrie. I was not super in love with the Dorset. Okay, so Carrie is spinning the Dorset down and passing out candy later. We don't get any trick-or-treaters, so I don't get to do that. And I wasn't sure how I felt about the Dorset down until I was knitting it. And then I was like, whoa. So I do like it. Oh my, Julie, is the last clue out for the West Knits Mystery Knit Along? Lori asked what I'm working on. It's a hat. I can show you the yarn. It's hand spun. That's a really bright light. Sorry. And it's got, Firestar in it, so it's sparkly. But yes, Flyaway is a spinning conference. So there's like classes and stuff like that. Stuff to get together and do. Tanya is working on a blanket. That's fun. Are you knitting or crocheting? Chris is getting ready to ply the Dorset down. Hey Kay, how are you today? I like the little rhyme. I didn't mean to do that, but I like it. Hey Teresa. Really, Julie? Julie says the West Knits Mystery Knit Along was easy. I can't remember the name of the pattern. Carrie said just okay so far on the Dorset down. I didn't love it until, well, after I dyed it, which I kind of equate to washing or soaking, I was like squeezing because I balled it instead of caking it, and I was squeezing it like crazy, and I'm like, okay, maybe I do like this. Hey, Kai's here. Oh, Tanya, okay, so you're crocheting the blanket. Lori Murphy is working on some scarves and hats for Christmas presents. Chris asked, did you find the Dorset down to be hairy compared to the Dorset down? Dorset horn. I steamed it prior to spinning, so that could be the difference. I don't know what you mean by hairy. I did not. Thank you. Garden Always. Her name is Ursula. She's relaxing. Hi Penny. I wouldn't say I found it hairy. I found it stiffer. Yes. Yes, but I didn't steam it. That's it. Shawlography. Thank you. I knew I had seen it like 20,000 times. I don't know why I can't remember that name. Hello, spin crochet repeat. It's definitely almost like crunchier. I don't know. I guess I assumed it was a little coarser, but I mean, I don't have a micron on it. Well, Margarita finished her Halloween socks just in time last night. Hey, Annie, how's the baby? Getting big. Makes me sad a little bit. Hello, Saga. How are you? No, it's not just you. I still liked it. Chris said, okay, so it's not just me then about the Dorset down being a little like hairier and coarser. Rowena spent the day plying some blue alpaca, so looking forward to starting a new project tomorrow. Oh, don't you love that? So much fun. Kathleen is spinning Targhee. I love it too. I really love it. Hey, Mel. Mel, are you also in Australia or New Zealand? I don't have a halo on mine. So I don't know if that's the steaming, but I don't have one. No, Annie, are you serious? Annie had a baby during Sock Madness. When was that? July? And she has 2 teeth already? And she has the most beautiful head of hair I've ever seen on a baby that age in my whole life. It's like curly, but not super curly and thick. I mean, she just has the most beautiful hair. Terry is crocheting and taking a break from plying. Had a lot of sample size balls from when I was in a monthly fiber club. Around 30. Wow. Hi, Billy. Hi, Bonnie. Oh my gosh. Everybody. The gang's almost all here. Margarita asked, what sock blockers do y'all recommend? That's a good question. Kim is working on a crochet shawl and doing some major downsizing on my house. Got to get rid of stuff and make room for more yarn. I've been purging a little bit again. I don't know why I'm like this. It's really bad. I'm working on our closet right now. Penny is spinning for a sweater. Just 4 row legs left. That means you're getting really close. Kathleen said, it seems like no matter if you spin Targhee, worsted, woolen, somewhere in between, it gets huge. Hi, Hoskins. Is this your first time here? And Valerie, look, hello, hello. I forgot to say it. Welcome back and happy Halloween. Hi, Michelle. Michelle's spinning some beautiful light gray Gotland. Elizabeth, I hate feeling like I'm behind everyone in spinning our current breeds. You aren't. You're right where you're supposed to be, Elizabeth. She said, but by being behind, I get to hear what to expect before I get there, which is nice. Oh, putting the garden to bed today. That's like always a good day and a kind of a bummer at the same. Tracy asked, Trish, I meant to ask in your tour video, are you putting up your blocking wall in your new space? I have it in here, but I don't think it's going to be permanent. I think what I'm going to do is slide it behind that big shelf. And then when I want it, I'll pull it out and put it out in front. But then I'll be able to just slide it away. But that means I have to move the whole doggone shelf. So I don't want to. But I'm going to have to do it. Hi, Script Goddess and a beer. Yay, a beer's here. I know you can't usually stay up for the whole thing. Nobody blames you. Carrie said, now we can relax and chat now that we've been welcomed back. Annie said, my favorite sock blockers are not beautiful but great. Hornshaw Woodworks sock blockers. They are amazing quality and will last you a lifetime. I know them. They used to live like 3 miles away from me. Until we moved. They didn't. As far as I know, they didn't. Margarita said, Trish, what are you working on? I'm making a hat out of some hand spun. It's like purple and silver and gold. Lori Murphy says, what are sock blockers? They're like feet shaped, sock shaped outlines, kind of, so that if you want to, well, though I use them when I show socks in my videos usually. I put one on a blocker so you can really see what it looks like. Oh, a beer took a nap. You took a nap so you could stay. I love it. Kai is making a new warp. That's exciting. They are awesome. That's my Yarn Swift is theirs, is from them too. It's their original, their first one, but they have a new one. Just this week I was thinking, do I want to get their new one? They're really nice people. They're awesome. Okay, so Elizabeth B said, hi, I'm enjoying a different fiber today at Houston International Quilt Festival. Yeah, I never met a fiber I didn't love. Same, girl. You know it's true. Debbie Pierce needs some good all-around hat patterns, if any suggestions. There's so many. Hi, Mel. Mel's here. Mel, is your painting done, Mel? She's been getting her house painted. They're table swifts, Kathleen. The reason I like them, though, is with mine, if I just clamp it to the table, I can also use it to like make skeins so easily. I just put my finger in one of the holes for the because you can, it has an adjustable size for the hanks, and so all these pegs go in the holes, and I can just put my finger in one and do this really fast and make a hank so quickly. Oh goodness, Mel sewing a bodice for my kiddos. What is the costume? I need to know. I've made a lot of costumes in my life. Hello, Michelle. Michelle, did your charka make it yet? I hope. Oh, purple and red. Is that your warp, Kai? Is purple and red? Eileen, hello. Right, it's evening there. Cool. I did some warping this week, so. Okay, so Mel's costume is a hobbit elf warrior. And you're sewing the bodice tonight? Is it gonna be done? I mean, I know it's gonna be done, because that's what moms do. We get S done, right? We definitely do. Hello, KJ. Michelle said, oh, good. Michelle said, yes, been using a lot practicing. I'm glad. Crystal said, I kind of make my own. Okay, so I think yeah, okay. So that way I can use any yarn I wish. Google head sizes, and then it's like 2 inches of rib and a star sock toe for the top. There you go. Elizabeth B, I think this is a really fun question. Can you recommend your favorite ball winder in Swift? So I've had quite a few ball winders, so I feel like I can speak on this. I have the Stanwood, and it is so good. I would never buy another one. But I've had like all the like lower end ones, the Knit Picks, and Brother makes one, and those are just, don't even compare. Oh my gosh, Mel, you're putting in grommets. Eileen said, raining and dark outside, perfect spinning and knitting weather. That's right. Mel M said, my mom's foot doctor suggested she wear bamboo socks to keep her feet warm. So I ordered bamboo top to blend with wool to make yarn. Do you have a suggestion on wool fiber? Well, do you want to be able to wash it? Like, what's the plan with it? Annie Gray's knitting a cable cardigan and just had my, uh-oh, I messed up the cable somewhere moment. Yay. Oh, no. Oh, goodness. Oh, Kai, what was your costume? I want to hear. Stanwood, yes. Kai said I stayed up until 9 p.m. Thursday night sewing buttons onto my costume. Bless you, Kai, for sewing your own buttons on. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to block my skeleton. You know what, Margarita? Yes, Tuesdays is a Q&A. I'll film a quick little piece and put it in. because you asked me that. Donna, hi, how are you? Oh my goodness, I like it too. I was sad that I couldn't find my decorations this year. Oh, that's fun. Kai was a drummer boy, or is a drummer boy. Are you still gonna trick or treat? What is the story? Mel M said, okay, I can hand wash. Oh man. Well, do you have anything that you already have on hand? Because then we could kind of like pick out what's best, maybe? What are you looking for? Are you looking for heat? Are you looking for durability? Are you looking for, like, what are you looking for? Kathleen said, I use silk instead of bamboo for warm socks. It will make it warmer. Blend it with wool and alpaca for my guys' socks. Elizabeth said, is it Stanwood Swift and Winder? I just blew my nitpicks. Yeah, okay, so I have, for me, the only Swift I've ever had is the Hornshaw Woodworks. Okay, for heat, Mel is asking about what to blend with bamboo for like really warm socks. So if you can, I would add a little bit of alpaca, just a little, because that will make them warmer. And then, what do you have on hand as far as wools? Do you have any? Hi, Mary. How are you? Are you doing yard work? You're so much more ambitious than me. That happened here too in some places, Kai. Where we used to live, they only did Saturday. Tanya said, I always have candy sweets at my house, but very rarely had any kids come. I have a great time for months after with the leftovers. We used to have so many trick-or-treaters. We would have a huge bowl and fill it and sometimes run out, and we would have a fire out in our driveway in a fire bowl. It was so much fun. Then the parents could come up and chat, and no one comes here because we're in the country. So even the kids in the area like go into town to trick or treat. Abir said, I'm knitting a sweater out of bulky yarn and 11 US. I feel clumsy with the size needles. You'll get used to it really fast though. Donna. Mary's getting... Oh, I'm sorry, Mary. That's really hard. I'm glad you were there, and I know you gave it a great life. I mean, there's no right thing to say. It's kind of hard. Margaret asked, Margaret, are you in the UK? She said, you're an hour earlier as my clock went back an hour last night. Do your clocks change? They do, but not until November. It used to be in October, and now we do it in November. I don't know why. It's so annoying. The time change is the worst. Kathleen said, alpaca is the most durable for heat I've found. I either add silk or mohair for durability instead of nylon. The silk helps wick. Perspiration helps keep feet warmer. Yeah, Carrie said we live right off Main Street. We get a ton of kids. When we lived in a subdivision, people would actually drive their kids like in from the country, which was fine. I loved it. Oh, that reminds me. You guys, next week we do Thanksgiving early at our house. We call it Clarksgiving because our last name is Clark. I don't even know if people know that about me. Because then everyone goes and actually celebrates Thanksgiving itself on Thanksgiving Day with like their spouse's parent, all that, whatever. And so I will not be here next Sunday because I'm going to be dead. I'll be on the couch probably with pie and a glass of champagne. I will do that, Margaret. I don't actually know the date this year. Well, hang on. Oh, goodness. I can't. Oh, this is only telling me March. I know it's March. November 7th. So next week, which I'll miss. A beer said sounds yummy. I know, Mary. I'm so sorry. It's really hard. Oh, Curb Shop 2 Alna Surgers. Oh my gosh. Elizabeth. Oh goodness. Okay, so Script Goddess said went to the dollar store to pick up candy this year in a new home that finally has kids around. Then I had a long drive to go pick up new fiber. Yay. Yeah, it's November 7. We used to do that too. I used to buy the candy early and then John and I would eat like a bunch of it. And I'd have to go again, which is so silly. That's what you're probably gonna actually probably should go live and I'll just lay there like Jabba the Hutt with a glass of champagne in sweatpants. Debbie said, I miss taxing the kids' Halloween candy. I had this friend named Kelly. Well, I mean, we're still friends. No, you're right, Linda. And then we would always take our kids trick-or-treating in well, not always, but a few years we took our kids in one of the neighborhoods because we didn't live in the same neighborhood. And she would put a 6-pack in a trick-or-treat bag while we walked around. We used to have so much fun. She is just great. That's right, Mel. Nothing but the best if you just did Thanksgiving dinner all by I was going to say all by myself, but John helps a lot. He loves cooking. Hey, Jess, welcome. Margarita said, I can't steal any candy this year. I'm trying to lose weight and I've lost about 4 pounds so far. Good job. I probably won't have champagne either next week because I only take 1 day a week off from low carb eating. And it'll be Thanksgiving, Clarksgiving. But I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see kids. It'll be fun. We saw one plus his significant other last weekend for birthdays, but you know, it's always fun to get them together. And I have a whole bunch of like ornaments and stuff for the younger kids to paint. And I bought glitter glue yesterday, so they're going to have a good old time. They can make ornaments and take them home. Hi, Silvana. Welcome. And Rebecca. How are you? Did you bring something to work on? I want to hear about it. Happy Halloween. Eileen said, nearly finished spinning all 4 ounces of my Southdown. Wow, I have not even gotten to that yet. Love spinning it so much more than the super soft Rambouillet started on. That Rambouillet is like spinning cotton wool. It is very cottony, isn't it? I mean, I like it. Debbie said it gets more complicated getting families together as they expand. That's why we do it early. Because then everyone can come, and it also gives a longer gap between that and Christmas, so it's kind of nice. Rebecca's got socks for her eldest granddaughter. Yes, Margarita. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be fun? She said, sounds like you're going to have a good time. Can I come over and make ornaments? Chris said, why did you buy glitter? I think I saw you have a whole drawer of glitter. Thank you. I bought glitter glue. You know, so they can squeeze it right out of the bottle and it already has glitter in it. I figured that would be less messy. I guess these are the Halloween nails. You can't really tell, can you? Oh, welcome back, Teresa. Mary said, I miss family holidays. I occasionally get together with my brother and one of his friends who is also a solo fellow. We cook lots of food for 3 people. Well, so, and then, hello, Fru. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. That's probably not right, but I'm trying. Very trying. We then don't have anything going on Thanksgiving Day. So we do something kind of different every year. we're just talking, like, what are we going to do? So Kai said, okay, this is a very random question, but do you think you are hopefully going to Maryland Sheep and Wool next? I know that it's like 5 months until then, so I don't expect you to have an answer. It's actually about 7 months. And I don't know. I have no idea. Kai, Dawn asked, what DPNs are you using? These are those super cheap ones I get off Amazon. Mrs. Fjellman? I don't know. My Swedish. I don't really have much. Margarita said, Carrie, yes, maybe a Zoom to start out with. A beer asked, DPNs for a hat? Are all the circular needles busy like mine? They are not. I actually like them. Isn't that weird? Hi, Jamie. Jamie's here. Hi, Lisa. Crystal said, I either need to grow taller or make a spindle with less spin time. Yeah. Oh, wow. Kathleen does 50 or 7 to 75 for Thanksgiving dinner. So last year it was like 30. We thought it was going to be 30. Not last year. It must have been the year before because we didn't do it last year because of COVID. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's going to be crazy. Look at, now Chris is speaking Swedish. I didn't even know you could, Chris. Now, Kai, why do you ask? Are you going? It's very fun. I have been. Eileen said, hi, Fru Feldman. What is your first name, or shall we keep calling you Mrs.? I just found out. Oh my gosh, Kai, that's so exciting. I just saw something else which wasn't Swedish, and it was someone named, as we would say in the US, Astrid. And the pronunciation is so different, I can't even get it right. I've been trying to practice and I can't get it right. Crystal said, I love my DPNs. I have a big old set of sweater ones that look like weapons. You know, I'm just used to them. I don't even think about them. Oh, Helena. Oh, I see. Fru is like Frau or Mrs. Thank you. I did not know that. Hi, Sue. How are you? I know. Isn't that cool, Abir? I think that's so cool. She said, I'm sure members of the tribe can speak many languages. Tanya said, I can't seem to get measurements right on knitted hats, so I have to crochet them. I prefer knitted ones. Well, have you worked gauge swatches so that you know? Oh my gosh, Kai said, I'm going to help my aunt and her mom out at their booth. How fun! I'd really like to. The last time I was there, it was very hot and humid. That's the only thing, but it's very fun. You'll love it. Make sure you get artichokes. And welcome. Is it Helena or Helena or something else? Kai speaks fluent Spanish. Carrie's habla. Should it be habla? Hablo español. I speak the most sad, tiny amount of Spanish. It's not even funny. I understand way more than I can speak, though. Oh, wow. Kathleen said they had 150 for Thanksgiving? My goodness. Well, welcome. Oh, wow. Tanya speaks a little bit of Maori. Did I pronounce that right? I hope I did. I know, Crystal. Tell me about it. Oh, my gosh. I don't want to speak English sometimes. I'm like, I don't want to talk. Kathleen understands enough Spanish to get ranch hands in trouble. You wouldn't do that, would you? Abir took Spanish. I understand but cannot speak a word. I can... Okay, hablo is correct then. Oh, okay. Script Goddess is Canadian, speaks some French. French? Just kidding. Okay, close enough. Thank you. I did my best. 150, Kim said. That seems like a village. I only have my dad and my sister. Very small family. Yeah, I don't have a big family, but the Clarks, we got Clarks all over. Donna said, have been fortunate to be able to go to Maryland Sheep and Wool twice, and yes, it is more than fabulous. My sister lives in Baltimore, and I'm in Arizona now, and we are planning 2022. Oh, sorry, I missed some things. I'm sorry. Elizabeth B. said this weekend is the Fiber Festival of New England. Where is it? Not one of the big ones, but lots of local shepherds and fiber and hand spuns as well as commercial. That's fun. Wow, Margarita teaches Spanish. Like Spain Spanish or Mexican Spanish, because there are some differences. Tracy said everyone in Canada has to take French at school for 4 or 5 years, but we all hate it. It's quite a hard language, isn't it? Melanie knows a little farm Spanish. What does that mean? Oh, you guys are funny. Oh my gosh, Carrie. No, you don't. She said, I'm the weirdo who likes the tofurkey. Does anyone like tofurkey? Helena said, we don't do Thanksgiving in Sweden. Hoping to be able to experience it sometime. Maybe when the family visit my sister-in-law outside of Washington. That'd be a good time to visit. Jean, you are not late. You're right on time. You're right where you're supposed to be. Well, thank you. I find it quite fascinating, so. Carrie likes tofurkey. I don't know what to say. I feel different about you now, Carrie. Hi, Karen. How are you? I was just thinking about you the other day. I was like, where's Karen been? Kimberly, you're not late. You're right on time. You're right where you're supposed to be. You bought the floor loom. How exciting. Yes, Garden always said tofurkey from tofu. Yes. It's a pretend tofu turkey. No, that's true. I didn't know you were a vegetarian, Carrie. Yes, Jean asked, did you get the pic of Chris and I? Did everybody saw it, right? That was so cool. No, I don't hate you. I'm joking. Hi, Venus. How are you? Michelle asked, when is the second Sasquatch I've been looking for it. Will it be November? Is it monthly? It's every other week. Because it's 2 ounces, I wanted to give people time. And sock yarn takes longer to spin because generally we're spinning thinner. So I thought it'd be nice to give 2 weeks for each one. Oh gosh, Debbie. Did you really? Debbie said, yeah, I made it 1 year as a joke. No one ate it. Julie said, I speak enough French and Italian to get overly confident, then order all the wrong stuff at restaurants. Oh, goodness. Lisa asked, what brand is the second what breed is the second Extravaganza breed? It is Dorset Down. Kathleen's doing German short row heels. Yeah, it's nice. I like a short row heel sometimes. Depends on the foot. They don't really fit John well. Oh, okay. Abir said, at the risk of changing the topic, I'm feeling very smug because I work with wool, a very sustainable and environmentally friendly material. Oh, Jamie was jealous. That's sad. Garden always said I don't think I can eat tofurkey and like it. We'll have 2 turkeys. Jennifer said I had to go buy some of the Dorset horn from you after watching this week's video. Yeah. I'm telling you, I really liked it. Oh, sorry, Kai, you can't. I don't know why, but YouTube doesn't allow links in the chat. So Oh, sure, no problem, Lisa. Lisa said thank you. Eileen said my first Dorset horn and Suffolk Colorwork sock is ready. It was so pretty. Now need to order more Dorset horns so I can knit the second one. Oh yeah. Tracy, I saw that you dyed something. Do you love it? Was it fun? Tofurkey always reminds me of Gilmore Girls. Oh, Jennifer, you know what? So I think that it's a good one to start with, but it really bloomed. I'm sure you saw it. And the Dorset down, I came out with almost identical wraps per inch, so it's been really interesting, actually. Venus said, Garden Always, I might have to try tofu turkey. First time in my life I have gout. And turkey, they said, is bad for gout. I know Elizabeth Gilmore Girls is the best. It is the best. But it makes me, like, cry a lot. That sounds dumb. But it's still the best. I am going to dye, Michelle said, got the Extravaganza wools, trying to decide whether to dye the roving or spin it first. I'm going to dye the second two before I spin, just so that, I don't know, it gives it kind of a different, idea of what the difference is. Jennifer said, I have avoided spinning sock yarn because it would inevitably get thrown in the wash. Yeah. We're pretty good. Like, John's pretty good about separating stuff out. Oh, okay. Okay, thanks. Abir said, is Cheviot part of the sock experiment? It is. It is the last one of this 4, but I might do 4 more. I could do 4 more so easily. I haven't tried I've spun it before, but I've never tried washing it and all that, so we'll see. I'll let you guys, you'll know right after I do. Simone said, I love the look of the Kromsky drop spindles. Has anyone tried them? I have not. Hi, Katie. Jamie said, I feel like I saw a video of you using the warping bar, but it seemed like the middle screw wasn't there. I've wondered if it should be winding over that middle screw. So if you know how I always say you've got to use a warp separator to wrap your warp up. So I don't know how to explain it, but if you just wrap it up without a warp separator, it like makes humps and then things fall down between. And it's really going to screw up your tension. So if you use the separator, it ends up wrapping over that center screw and just making the bar like bigger, kind of. So it shouldn't matter. That's what I do now, because I didn't have a screw in the center on the first one. Kimberly said I was considering buying a second kit, then knitting a pair of socks from each breed. Julie's doing that, Kimberly. Julie Riddle is doing that. 4 more. Maybe. I do have 4 more. Mal said, tips for spinning for socks. I've just got some sock fiber with nylon. I like, what does that mean? I like do sock weight. For wraps per inch, I need like between 38 and 45, depending on the type of fiber. So that's a tip. I like to spin them worsted, completely worsted. That's just my own preference though. And I really do like a 3-ply for socks. But if if my singles come out too heavy for a 3-ply, then I'll DK. Okay, for DK, I'm trying to think what you would need wraps per inch. I don't know off the top of my head. Are you used to spinning that fine? Oh, Abir said, speaking of weaving, I just warped my loom and the yarn in the holes is slacking. What do I do? Can you weight it? Is there a way you can like suspend weights from the back to even your tension out? Okay, well, Mel said I can. So I would personally sample a little bit for DK. Do you want to, if you want a 3-ply, and then make yourself a control card and hang it up? It'll help a lot. Well, Tracy, it just takes practice, and you need to get your wheel going really, really fast. Oh gosh, okay. Kimberly said, Trish and other weaving friends help. Now that we're parents of a loom and neither have ever woven, recommended teaching resources, we know nothing of the process. I like Barbara Elkins. She is from Webs. She's like one of the founders, I think. And she has a bunch of videos on warping, winding a warp, all kinds of stuff. So I really like hers the best. But that's just me. Yeah. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Lisa said S-hooks do a pretty good job of weighting yarn in the back of the loom. That's what I mean. Like, you just suspend a little hook, and sometimes you can, if you need more weight, put a little, like a washer on the bottom part of the S-hook, and it'll pull it down from the back, from behind, and help you with your tension. It's fun stuff. There you go. Oh, Sue's recommending the Jane Stafford Guild. I think Kai already did that. I've seen some of her videos on YouTube. Aw, Donna. She said, except for Trish, of course, who is a great teacher. I don't think I am, but I appreciate that. She said, I like Kelly Casanova for weaving instruction. I also really like Kelly's videos, and as a human, she is like a wonderful person. She's so helpful. She's awesome. Julie said, did anybody hear about Webs changing ownership? I heard it a while ago. Did it change again, or is that what you mean? It's different. Abir also said Kelly Casanova, Casanova is fantastic. She really is great. She's a very, very good teacher. And I'm not saying Jane Stafford's not a great person. I just don't know. I'm sure she's great. Chris said, Abir, you could, and it all through the front and then rewind to the back and fix the tension. You could do that. Chris is saying, well, yeah, I guess you could do it. He said you could, I think you're saying wind it all to the front and then wind it back. Oh, Katie, don't make me cry. I've been weepy today. You're a great teacher. You made my teenage dream of learning to spin accessible. Don't. You could do that, Abir. I had to do that on the first one that I put on my, why are you so out of it? The first one I put on my floor loom. I've got a tartan scarf for John on the floor loom right now, and I'm just getting ready to start threading it. Sue said, Jane Stafford is mostly oriented to floor loom weaving, but a lot of the basics are also applicable to rigid heddle looms too. Kimberly, I thought you bought a floor loom. Is that not what you bought? I think it was a floor loom, wasn't it? Is this going to fit on my head? Yes. Oh my gosh, Kimberly, I wish I could find somebody that would just weave. Yeah, it's a jack loom. It's a floor loom. Oh, you know what? For a jack loom, Ashford has a couple of really good videos too. Okay, so Abir said my poor kitchen towels are having a bumpy start. It happens with a cotton warp when you're not used to it, so don't feel bad. It's very, very frequent. Oh, Carrie, it's fine. Carrie said I'm weaving my first dish towels on my rigid head loom and realized halfway through that I forgot to hem the beginning edge. You can do other stuff to fix it, so don't even stress about that. Oh, Jean said Trisha's taught most of us how to spin. I don't think I have, but she said I would have given up if I never found her. Oh. Ellen said, hello, Trish and Fiber Tribe. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope you're doing well. Did you bring a project? Am I nosy? Yes. Very. Uh-oh. Brenda said my loom and the messed up warp on it are in timeout. Oh, Debbie, your dad just got married. How sweet. I am actually weirdly sending my stepmom one of the rainbow towels I just finished because she really likes the towels. Right. Chris said I had lots of issues with cotton warp on my 8 heddle rigid heddle loom. How I don't. Oh, I'm guessing you're saying 8 dense print. Trish, you made me brave enough to try those towels. You can do it. It's just cotton is a little more temperamental. And don't feel bad if they're a little struggle at first. Oh gosh, Kimberly's giving him hand spun for his first weaving project. I just messed up my ribbing. I fixed it. Ellen's weaving Christmas dish towels. I really want to a beer. I really want to wind a warp. She said I discovered you, Trish, a month after I got my wheel, so you did help because I felt like giving up. I felt like giving up too when I started. I was doing it in December, and I said to John, I'm putting it outside. This wheel is going outside. I don't care. Oh, excuse me, sir. Pardon me. Jennifer said, what Roxanne is to my knitting, Trish is to my spinning, weaving yet to be attempted. You guys, she's not here, so I can say this. When Roxanne showed up the first time, I almost peed my pants. I was like, what? Oh, Chris, I'm so glad it's helping. Chris Hood said, don't worry about the towels being bumpy. After you wash, they will fix themselves. I'm actually really shocked at how much better everything looks after you wash it and the weave tightens up and blooms a little bit and everything. It's much better. It's really surprising. I've got to do another set of dishcloths. Our drawer is empty. You would never think I would have an empty dishcloth drawer, would you? Cindy said my first weaving project is going to be patching a hole in my, I'm assuming, darling or dear husband's jeans. I got a faux speed weave loom. What is that? Is it a little... Chris said, through all this spinning and weaving journey, I have learned a tremendous amount on here. I'm so glad, Chris. You guys, I appreciate that so much. But don't make me cry, please. The holidays made me so... Ugh. Eileen said, haha, Trish, you are so much better and more interesting than you think. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the sheep emojis. They're my favorite. Kimberly said, I have the same spinning story here. Trish taught me so much as I began my spinning journey. Never miss a post, even though I miss lives a lot. It's fine. I know some of you guys thought I really got mad about that. I totally don't. Brenda said I have inexpensive sugar and cream cotton on my loom that is messed up, and I am seriously considering cutting it off and starting over. Oh, I love you guys too, Carrie. You guys don't really realize. And Brenda, I'm going to say this, and I really mean it. If you're having a miserable time and you don't know how to go about fixing it and you want to start over, Just cut it off and start over. Life is short. It's way too short to wrestle your loom. Don't. Carrie, I cry all the time too. But as soon as I start thinking about Thanksgiving, I start getting weepy because I really miss my sister. I was telling John earlier, I can't talk about it. Abir said, I understand how you feel. I was in a crying mood yesterday. It's therapeutic. I think it is good to let it out. Oh, Chris. You guys are my tribe. It's hard to find people who love wool as much as I do. So it's you guys. Sorry. Lisa agrees. Starting over is better than continuing and then giving up. I know. It's silly. Jamie said the first time Trish said my name on a live, I told my fangirl. Jamie, stop. You're going to give me a big head. You're welcome, Brenda. I really mean it. And I think sometimes we need to hear that. I think like we need someone to say, this is supposed to be fun. And even though the learning process can sometimes be like a trudge or a slog or whatever you want to call it, if you don't know where to go to fix it, and just, it's okay to cut it off and start over. It's still part of your learning process and it's fine. But I think sometimes we do need to hear that. I wonder how this ribbing is going to look after this live. Crazy. Hi, Jerry. How are you? You guys are funny. Elizabeth B said, I just bought a 16-inch Kromsky rigid heddle at the New York Sheep and Wool at their auction. Isn't that auction so amazing? She said, now that auction was fun. The rigid heddle is very different from my shocked wolf. Yeah. It's a lot. I feel like it's almost two different hobbies. It's kind of like machine knitting and hand knitting are completely different things. Debbie said there are no mistakes, just happy accidents. That's right. Ellen said, I have an Ashford Knitter's loom and I love it. Laura said, I know this is off topic, but could you give any advice on spinning Surrey alpaca? Thank you so much. I actually have a randomly large experience with Surrey alpaca, and I still have quite a bit in my stash. Is it already processed, Laura? Or do you have to like wash it and process it? What is the situation? Sharon, you're not late. You're right where you're supposed to be. Everything's good. Hope you're well and happy, actually. Marie said, oh, you deserve so much credit for keeping people interested and taking interest in fiber crafts. Don't be embarrassed about it. It's just part of me. I'm just weird. Donna said, yes, start over. I ended up cutting off my alpaca shawl and starting over because I was using a 10 dent and didn't know I should have been using an 8. It was painful, but in the end it was worth it. Okay, so Laura said it is already processed. The reason I'm asking is because I had to process it from the very beginning. It's kind of tricky to spin. Do you have a lot of spinning experience? Tracy said, I've heard Surrey alpaca is not easy or fun to spin. Not sure what the results look like. I'm trying to think of it's a lot more like hair than wool. Personally, I think it makes really nice lace weight yarn, but it's not great for everything. It's just really challenging. It's a hard one to spin. Oh, Jennifer gave good advice. She said, Brenda Wright, keep it so when you've mastered it, you can see your progress. That's a really good idea. Lori Murphy said, isn't it more like spinning silk? It is very much like spinning silk, but sometimes the The staple can be super long. Okay. Laura said I'm relatively experienced, sorry. My daughter gave me several packages for my birthday. Um, I would try spinning it from the fold if you can. It's Jerry just said it. I've spun plain Surrey. It can be slippery, but it has lots of luster. It is very slippery. And if you spin it from the fold, and everyone has their own way of doing this, but I like to just bend it in half, not over my finger, and try it and come back and let us know how it goes, because I'd love to hear. I still have a bunch. Christy said I spun an alpaca merino 80-20 blend and it was nice. I bet. Okay, Valerie said, Brenda, remember this is our happy time, and if a project isn't making you happy, life is too short. Cut it off and restart. You will have learned something and you can move forward. I really do think that that's so true. You're welcome, Laura. I used to know this lady who had alpaca farm, and it was all Surreys, and she would sell me, this is crazy, she would sell me her fleeces for like $1 a pound, not joking. And so I would process it myself. That's why I've spun so much, and I still have a ton. Oh gosh, Venus, I haven't done it in forever. I like it, but I mean, once you have spun a couple of pounds of it, you're like, okay. Oh, guy. You guys are funny. Sue said the Ashford looms also have a 15 dent heddle, which the shock looms don't. I use the 5 all the time with lace weight yarns. It's so... Okay, so this, what Sue said reminds me, it's so interesting. Abir, no, I did not. John has had these forever. I often hear people say, okay, I'm using this weight yarn, so that means this heddle, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Oh, she said she meant the 15 heddle. Like, you can use any yarn with any heddle, you're just going to get a completely different thing. You know, you might get a super open weave or a super tight weave, if that makes sense. We don't, Abir, the closest IKEA to me is like 4 hours away, I think, in Chicago. I don't think there's one in Detroit. All right. Bodice finished, Mel said. First time making one. I'm not a big seamstress. The Halloween costume gods were with me, thank goodness. Do you ever sleep, Mel? Abir said I have those and I got them from IKEA. I wish we had a closer IKEA. I love it. Donna said my alpaca shawl was being made from wool from alpacas I owned when we raised alpacas and sheep. So I was crushed when I had to start over, but I used the cut off part for a dress or scarf. See? That's actually really good. Oh, okay, so Canton. So that's like 3-ish hours from me, I think. When I got the floor loom, Brenda, I warped it and it was a huge amount of pain in the butt. And I still had to cut the first warp off because it was too... Oh, bye, Elizabeth. Thanks for coming. Okay, Marie said there's an IKEA at 275 and 10 miles. So yeah, that's roughly 3 hours. I am just knitting a hat. I think it's called the March hat. Kai said, has anyone, I think, realized that the two words in seamstress is seam and stress? Oh, bye, Kimberly. Have fun with your new loom. Oh, and Kathy, I got your message. I just didn't have time to answer right before I started this live. I'm supposed to be able to pick them up on Thursday. Kathy messaged me about buying a warping bar. The oh my gosh, why can't I think? The woodworker guy that is making them has like a little family business, and they couldn't get the wood. So it just came in. It took like 4 or 5 weeks to come in. I'm going to have them start a new order for me immediately when I pick up this order. Pierce said I can't use a sewing machine to save my life. My mom made all my school projects for me. Oh my gosh. Okay. Terry said, Trish, do you remember the 4-shaft I got and then realized too much work? Well, I gave it to my cousin to raffle off. She got 300 and it went to a person with cancer. I mean, that's a good thing, right? I feel like if it's not for you and you're really sure, it does make sense to just put it out into the world to make someone else happy, and then you do the hobbies that make you happy. Tracy says, I'm debating whether I should send all my alpaca to a mill to get it processed. I just don't have the time to do it myself. Can you recommend a wool to blend it with? Kind of depends on what you want to do with it. That's how I feel, Mel. I can sew, but I'm not good enough at it for it to be fun or relaxing. Oh, Terry, that's good then. That's a great investment. Oh, wait. Okay, so KJ asked about it's the Alaska sweater, right? I missed it. I saw it, but I didn't have time to get it out. Get it out my brain. I don't, let me see what that looks like, because it sounds kind of familiar. Oh, I can't type. Chris Hood said, I can't sew worth crap. The hems on my towels suck. I honestly, I wish I was better, but I know the only way I'm going to get better is to work at it, and I don't want to. I like them apples. I just don't want to. Tracy said, I don't know what to do with it. Maybe spin for a sweater. For a sweater, you could use almost anything that you like. Like, you can anywhere from merino, really anything you like. Do they have do you have a mill that you like? Because they might have a recommendation. Is it this one? Yes, Mel, you can eat now if you want to eat. Oh, is it this one? It's probably this one. Abir said alpaca feels nice, but it doesn't have memory. That's right. So if you're going to use it for a sweater, a lot of times the sweater will like grow or grow, depending. Lori said, me and sewing machines don't agree too often, but I need to use them occasionally. I mean, I've said it in weaving videos. I mean, if you weave, you probably and almost inevitably end up sewing somewhat. Oh my gosh, Mary made a ton of her own clothes. My mom used to make us a lot of clothes when I was a kid. And when my son was little, there was this big push to make all children's pajamas flame retardant, and it was kind of gross. They felt gross. So I sewed him a lot of his pajamas, but I don't really love it. Hi, Stephanie. That sweater with the trees was an Alaska sweater. And I'm thinking that that's the one. So KJ said it calls for DK weight, but wondering if I could use Malabrigo Rios. I had just found out it's supposed to be Malabrigo. Personally, I would probably try it. I'm all wound up now. Tracy said, I've never used a mill before. I don't even know what ratio to blend the alpaca and wool with. I don't want it to stretch, so maybe no sweaters. It's a tough one because I love it, but it just... Some sweaters are good. Like if you have one that you don't mind, if it can't hold its shape, let's say. Michelle said, has anyone found hat patterns or created hats from the top down? There are some. Seems like this would be a good strategy for designing a hat that would always fit, just like toe-up socks. There are some that go from the top down. Garden always has a winter bucket list. That's a good idea. Weaving and sewing some clothes for myself are tops on the list. Wow. Tracy said, does anyone know of a good mill in Northern California? I don't know of any California mills. I know a few great ones more in the Western U.S., but Carrie's got some alpaca going to blend with merino and spin fine for a lightweight but warm sweater. I might suggest merino. I mean, I kind of want to suggest merino. Let's say that. Venus said I made my baby's clothes because they weren't old enough to care what they looked like. Oh, Sue gave good advice that was too quick for me to read. Sorry. Jamie said I just Googled mills and then sent them an email and told them what I wanted. I think that's a good idea. And there are a few RAV groups that have like... Oh, okay. Stephanie has some questions about mills. There's a few RAV groups that have like feedback on mills. I cannot even tell you off the top of my head which group has that. Crystal said I have issues with top-down hats. My cast-off is weird, and I end up making them too short. Interesting. Marro, Marro, I think it's called, is a really good mill, and they're great, especially, I think it might be called Marro Fiber Works. They're great with very fine fibers. Brenda said, I would use Rios in place of DK. To me, Rios always seems like a light worst weight. I agree. 100%. You know what other one would be good is the Blue Sky Alpaca's wool stock is like a lighter end worsted. Lisa said, Stephanie Sario, Youthful Fiber Farm has a mill in Oregon. Nice. I did not know them. Oh yeah. Okay. So Eileen said, KJ, look up videos on how to do the ladder back jacquard. The trees will come out so much nicer. I think I had to do that on a Sock Madness plan. Julie said, has anybody heard of getting plantar fasciitis? I never can say that word, I'm sorry. From treadling over much, asking for a friend. Are you getting that, Julie? Are you sure it's not just like a foot cramp or a strain or something? Mary said, how much negative ease do you figure / prefer for hats to fit? I kind of like them myself to be no ease either way, because I don't like them to be tight. It's a long story, but I don't like it. So if anything, I'd like to make them fit. Oh, good. See? Stephanie's got a mill to try out. Lori said, I have plantar, I'm going to have to say it again, fasciitis. Treadling doesn't bother it. Lisa says she also has a fun YouTube channel where she shows a mill tour and farm tour in her videos. Very fun. Hi, Faith. The biggest hat I ever made was definitely the Kraken hat from last year. I probably should have worn that. I never even thought about it. Thanks, Lori. I appreciate that. Lori said, Trish, I can't say it either, and I have it. Mary said, mine inevitably slide down or off. Do you mean your hats? Oh, Garden Always, I made a Santa hat for a Sasquatch. Was it like a statue-y thing? That's really funny. I love it. Really, Kai, no mills at all, huh? You guys are so funny. Yeah, I always think that, Chris, I can't help it. That tells how old I am, right? Because that's from Clash of the Titans. I had to think about what that movie was called. Eileen said plantar fasciitis could be, it's an inflammatory reaction. I would recommend looking up an anti-inflammatory diet. Try to sleep enough and gentle foot and calf exercises to strengthen your muscles. Yeah, how can you tell the difference between Santa and Sasquatch? I'd like to know. Santa's very hairy. He's not a small man. Think of it, he was supposed to be just a big elf, really, right? I did not, Chris. Abir asked, I noticed you don't use a woolly winder for the matchless. Is that by design? It is not. I would love a woolly winder for my matchless, but they are so expensive. And I will say that I do like with my matchless that I have so many options to change my ratios to go faster and slower, and with a woolly winder I would have less options. I wouldn't have no options. There's a bug in here, but I would have less. So I've been a little hesitant, but I love them. Really, Mel? Mel said I have to wear shoes when I spin or my toes go numb. I wonder if you're like pressing on a nerve or a blood vessel or something. Oh my goodness. Margaret said I have RSD, reflex sympathetic dystrophy, CRPS in England, complex regional pain syndrome, my goodness, in one of my feet, and I use spinning as therapy for it. Up here. He's always listening. I'm telling you. Venus said also good supportive shoe for plantar fasciitis. You see? Why are you guys making me say this over and over? Plantar F, we'll call it. Oh, here's a good one. Okay, Eileen said another tip is to put a small water bottle in the freezer, then regularly rolling your foot over the frozen bottle. Crystal, are you in the Midwest? She said, oh, I own the Kraken hat pattern. I also bought the Predator. I think it was the Predator pattern, but I never did make it yet. But maybe someday. I couldn't imagine putting that over my head. Wouldn't you be so sweaty? Sue said, Melanie, try a slightly taller chair and see if that helps keep your feet from going numb. Chris Hood, go to the corner. Margaret said spinning makes the foot feel what I want it to feel instead of just the nerves firing when they want to. That's so interesting. Michelle ordered a woolly winder. Oh dear. Well, maybe they're about to ship it. The supply chain issues are quite they're affecting timing for things that have to be put together a lot. She lives here, Eileen. She lives like an hour and a half from me. Tracy said, me too on the toe thing. I figure it is telling me to get up and move around a bit. That's probably could be. Debbie said repetitive movements and pain are why I only spin on an e-spinner. There are a lot of people who only spin on an e-spinner because of the repetition. Ah. Kai said, well, I have to go to work on a new video. John watches Kai's videos. And then he'll tell me, hey, did you know Kai was doing a collab? And I'm like, of course I know. It is. Abir said the problem is vexing. Oh, well, Alicia, you're here when you're supposed to be. It's fine. Don't even worry about it. Lisa said I tried all of the exercises and stretches for PF. Thank you, Lisa. And it kept getting worse until one doctor finally told me to act like it was broken and stay off it for a few weeks. And did that do it? Ashley's here. Hello, Ashley. Are you Ashley from the... I don't want to... Maybe you don't want me to say your last name. Lisa said it was very hard to do, but that is what finally helped. Karen says, I curl up in bed with pillows and my spinner for long spinning sessions. Do you also take champagne with you, Karen? It's okay, Eileen. It's fine. You're totally fine. Lori, how are you? Ashley, are you in Tucson? Wine. Okay. Well, champagne's really just sparkling wine, right? Okay, I thought you were a Barkheimer, but then I thought maybe you didn't want me to say. Maybe you're trying to hide from, I don't know, witness protection. Abir said, it's like carpal tunnel syndrome. It needs rest. I have it in both hands. Oh dear. That must be really hard. You did mention that, Karen, and I read it and I took it to heart. Trust me. Okay, Brenda said, I want a setup that I use for plying only. What, when you say setup, do you mean... Oh, good. Whew. Okay, Margarita said, I have PF, and they gave me a steroid shot and a shoe insert molded to my foot. Okay, I just messed up. Hang on, let me fix the stitch. What did I do? There we go. The combo works wonders and now several years later does not hurt anymore. Melanie said, my wheel is a single treadle. Do you treadle with your whole foot on the pedal or just part of your foot? Do you switch feet? I don't. I used to switch feet, but I don't anymore. And I would say my whole foot is on it. Oh. I'm sorry, Alicia. We're glad you're here. Margaret said I can only walk if I wear fit flop shoes. Otherwise, my foot won't work. Oh. My goodness. Lori Murphy said I have had carpal tunnel in both hands, trigger finger in multiple fingers, and PF. I keep thinking that that's Paradise Fibers. Okay, so Linda needed more arch support. Lisa said, on my treadle wheel, I use my whole foot. Yeah, I would say I use my whole foot. Because I actually don't just use my toe to push down. I use my heel to push back or down. You know what I mean? Carrie said switching to a double treadle helped with a lot of pain and treadling with my whole foot. I only use one foot even when I treadle on a double treadle. Oh my gosh, Lori! Is it weird that I'm a little jealous? Once it starts to get cold, there is always a point where I'm like, well, it might as well snow because then at least it would be pretty. No, you're not slow, Mary. Come on. Carrie said, I'm never ready for winter. Gross. Really? Garden always said our leaves are just beginning to fall. I would say we're maybe like halfway through the leaves. They're just going to go all at once now, though. It's going to be like, poof. Oh, Eileen said better than the rain we have here, Lori. It is, I mean, the snow does make it prettier. Right? No? No, Abir, you left the snow. Abir said no snow for me. Paradise fasciitis. Why can't we switch? We need to make it planter fiber. Oh, that's not true. Alicia said on my side of Michigan, it's cold, rainy, and windy, and ew. Here too? Oh my goodness, Jamie, I'm so jealous. I'm moving in. Terry said it's 57 here and windy. I love snow. Until it turns to dirty slush. Gross, Carrie. Brenda, it's okay. I do my best to read. Kathy said I'm in Florida, so I'm just now starting a couple of container gardens. I love having homegrown tomatoes in the winter. You lucky. There you go. Fascia is made up of fiber. That's why we talk about it here. Right? I'm surprised how many people have trouble. Well, Jamie, where are you? You grew up in Cleveland, so you know. Where are you now? So I know if I need to pack my stash and move and stay in your guest room. Shoot. There we go. Lisa said I only use a treadle wheel for demonstrations because of my back and hips. I finally got EEW6 and can spin again. I have spun almost every day since April. Wow. Oh, Virginia. That's like perfect. Because you're not in the super hot area. Virginia's perfect. I'll pack my stash. You know, I can't say I'm excited for winter, but I definitely feel a lot better about it this year than I have in the past few wheels. Hi, Megan. What's up? How you doing? Jamie. Lori, are you asking me? Lori M. Lisa said fall is my favorite time of year. I do like it, but I used to just get so sad about the end of summer, but this year it's not bad. Why are you embarrassed? Hey, Amber. Oh my gosh, Amber, how are you? Karen's freezing. You're in Wisconsin, right, Karen? I'm covered with blankets watching. Husband came in and threw 450 pounds of dogs on the bed to warm me. Hang on one sec. Let me finish this. Lori said, yes, Trish. You're welcome, of course. I am making a hat. I think it's called the March hat. We'll see how it goes. It doesn't look very cute in this on screen. And this is the yarn. That's reflecting way too much light. It really doesn't look right. Let's see. It looks a little bit better back here. More accurate. It's for me, Abir. Tracy said we mostly get rain in the winter with a few weeks of snow and cold weather. This will be my first year biking to work through the winter. Wow. Garden always said I thought that looked too big to be a sock. You know, you don't know. I could have really big ankles. I don't mind. Debbie said, I hate to mention the C19 thing, but I have worked in a hospital doing analytics and state reporting since March of 2020. I am crossing my fingers for 2022. I need a life for real. So I mentioned, speaking of what Debbie is saying, that the place where I go donate plasma is ending their convalescent plasma program. So I need to come back for 7 more donations and then it's over. They're not doing it anymore. And she told me that the way that it was presented to them was that it's because things are getting better and they don't need it anymore. So I didn't know what to make of that. I don't know if it's good news or what. I mean, it's obviously good news for me. Whoops. Oh, Tracy. How far is your ride? Terry said, I like the cold. I keep my temp at 67 all year and no heat in my bedroom with the window open. I do like my bedroom freezing. Okay, Debbie said that is a good thing, Trish. Things are getting better. I mean, it's the only thing that really makes sense unless they had like an abundance saved up. So 7 more times I'll get poked in the arm and then my poor little arm can get better. Brenda said, thinking of casting on the Musselburgh, is it Musselburgh hat? I don't know that. With some of my hands spun. I'll have to look it up. Wow, so British Columbia only gets a few weeks of snow, really? Ashley said, it seems like we aren't giving out convalescent plasma as often in the hospital. I think they found ways to treat better. Oh, so then maybe that's the reason. Oh, 2.2 kilometers. I'm so bad at that. How many miles is that? I can do it myself. I can do the conversion myself. Me, Chris said, are you an unusual blood type? I am O positive, so no. Very not unusual. Very common. I could give blood after this, I guess, but then you have to wait a really long time. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's all good. I'm glad I did it. I hope it helps someone. Doesn't matter. It's a good excuse to just lay in a chair for 45 minutes and watch organizational videos. Karen said it's pre-snow here, but just damp cold in central Wisconsin. Joints get cold and achy. I don't think, Karen, that you're too far north of me. I want to say we're like pretty, but I think maybe you're a little bit north. Tracy said, haha, not the whole province, just Victoria. Even farther up Vancouver Island, they get a lot of snow. Well, Carrie said, my blood type is B positive, which is ironic because I'm a pessimist. Maybe you're just fighting against it. You know what I mean? Chris said, is O the universal donor? Ashley said, O is the universal donor. AB is the universal donor for plasma. Did not know that there was one. Yes. Debbie said, I want to travel again, so ready to go to Scotland, maybe to Shetland. How fun is that? Venus said, O negative is universal donor. So my mom is O negative, and when she gives, they usually tell her, oh, really, Michelle? That's the first time I've heard anybody say that. My mom is O negative, and they always tell her that they save. I don't know if this is true. that they save the O negative to give to certain patients, and one of the sets of patients is like babies who haven't been typed yet, because they know that it's safe for them to get the O negative. So she likes that it goes to the babies. Lori said we get a lot of snow in my part of BC. I'm only 3 hours away from the Alberta border and 1 hour from the US border. Oh, so Debbie's O negative too. They knock on my door to ask me to donate. They use it for peds. Yep, see? I'm so glad you made it, Michelle. I'm so glad. It's been an interesting journey, hasn't it? The whole C19 thing has been like a roller coaster for so many people. It's just been really weird and crazy. I feel like I lived through a part of history that no one's ever going to understand. Brenda said, I also like the way you pick the size based on your gauge. That's great for handspun. Yep. Well, Carrie, Carrie said, I can't say this bad. It's a word. It's a bad word. A bad roller coaster. But I think good came out of it for a lot of people. You learn who you can count on. You just learn so much. Amber said, Southern Oregon, coastal mountains, rain and lots of moss. If it snows, it's wet, heavy, and destructive. Last snow, no power for 9 days. Wow. Sorry. Eileen said, hi, Lori. I traveled on the Rocky Mountaineer train once. Did I travel past your house? Right. Mary said the plus minus is RH factor and negative RH is safe to not interact with babies. A double plus can be deadly. Yep. Okay, so that's what they tell her. And my mom, the reason I can remember she's a negative is because if you have a negative RH factor and you're pregnant, you have to have a certain shot, because if the baby's positive, whatever, blah, blah, you know the story. So, okay, so Lori said probably not. Eileen, you would have traveled through one of the passes. Crystal is RH negative. It's always fun when pregnant. See? Rogam, that's it. But I think it's only after your first baby. Debbie. She said, I used to joke about what I would do in a zombie apocalypse. Now I know. Yeah, I mean, I found it really like stressful in the beginning, but I did find that I can adjust and pivot, to use an overused word, really well. Garden always said, I love the cello. Well, any stringed instrument, actually. John played cello when he was in school. I've never gotten to hear him play the cello. Oh, Venus, it's after each one? So she had to have a shot each time she had another baby? I mean, I think he pretty much played everything like of that type of stringed instrument. Ashley said they give it 28 weeks, I think, and within 72 hours of birth or any time there might have been exposure to baby's blood. Okay. Seriously, Jamie, I would take you. Shot right in the butt. Well, I don't feel bad for her. She had such great kids. Just kidding. Crack myself up today. Oh, guys, it's after 3:30. I'm going to have to go. I think I'm going to make chili tonight, so I have to quick go to the store. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I love this group. It's so much fun. Oh, good night, Abir. Alicia, that's awesome. I love you guys too. And Jamie, don't forget, you're on my team if there's a zombie apocalypse. Oh, thanks, Lisa. You too. Happy Halloween. Don't eat too much candy. Okay. I love you guys. I'll see you Tuesday. Oh, now I can see you. Bye.